student athlete schedule. All right. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, check this out. So most student athletes think the hardest part of sports is practice or games. The truth, the hardest part, the biggest challenge is mastering your schedule. Did you know? Listen to this. Did you know, according to the NCAA, student athletes average 30 plus hours a week on sports on top of schoolwork? Now, no wonder it's a struggle at times, right? Time management, you're dealing with burnout and just falling behind. Now, if you don't control your schedule, 100% your schedule will control you. And that's what we're going to discuss today. If you're new to Instagram, if you're new to the Facebook group, I am Coach Ronnie. I was a strength and conditioning coach within professional baseball for 20 years, where I help athletes get bigger, stronger, faster, and do my best to minimize injuries. And now I do the same thing for you all, but with a twist. We added in the mindset, right? Added in the mindset. After my challenges through mindset, struggle, anxiety, panic attacks, all these things that even led to a kidney disease, all these things that I had to battle, I found out was through the mind. I came up with a strategy to help me deal with that. Now I share that with you all right? And today, again, we're talking about an aspect of the mindset, right? Time management, right? And we're talking about how to master your student athlete schedule, all right? So let's dive right in. Now, why does this matter? Let's see. We got people rolling in. Let me head over here and shout some folks out real quick. What up, Subari Weightlifting Club? What's up, Man's Fest Boy? What's up, Stick Ricky? Slick Ricky. Okay, Slick Ricky. I like that. Slick Ricky. All good. Thanks for stopping by. Now, like I said, we're talking how to master your student athlete schedule. If you're a parent of a student, or if you're a student athlete yourself, in the comments, give me a 1. In the comments, give me a 1. I want to know who I'm talking to right here. Again, if you're a parent of an athlete or of a parent of a student athlete or a student athlete, drop a 1 in the comments so I can see who I'm talking to. All right. So why does having a top-notch schedule matter? All right. Why does that matter? All right. It matters because poor scheduling will lead to stress. All right. Stress, lower grades, lack of sleep, and inconsistent performance. All right. So now, on the flip side of that, athletes who master their schedule, right, perform better, they stay healthier, and they show more consistency on the field. Came up with a term called what is it? Decision fatigue, right? Decision fatigue, right? We hear fatigue thrown around all over the place these days, right? Different types of fatigue. Decision fatigue is real and it exists as well. Decision fatigue is, I'll give you an example of decision fatigue. You wake up in the morning, you're running about 5 minutes late for your bus or your ride for school in general, right? So you have to grab your clothes, you have to grab your books, you have to throw some food down your throat, run outside, barely catch the bus. You got a test when you get there. You're struggling to go looking through your notes. You're doing all this. You have to run off the bus real quick because you forgot the book. You're making the bus driver mad. You run back on the book, run back on the bus. Now you're going through your notes, trying to at least go over something before the test. You sit down for the test. You're stressed out. Your mind goes blank. The night before you thought you were prepared, you studied. You wake up nervous and full of anxiety because you're running late. Your mind goes blank. You fail the test. Decision fatigue, too much going on, right? The opposite of decision fatigue, even though when you're running that 5 minutes late, it doesn't matter. Why? Because your clothes are laid out, your books are laid out. You got your studying in when you first woke up. You studied last night. You did a little studying today, right? You have your breakfast. Everything's lined out. Everything's laid out. No problems. You jump on the bus. You review your notes really quick one more time. You sit down, take that test, no problem, right? Even though you were running 5 minutes late, your whole morning was laid out, right? So there's no fatigue, right? There's no excessive decision making taking place, right? So you just cruise into your test. Let's see what we have right there. Half pint, mommy. What's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Caesar, thanks for stopping by. Jay Carter, thanks for stopping by. Jerry Hall, CJ, thank you all for stopping by. What we're talking about today, we're talking about how to manage the student athlete schedule. How to manage the student athlete schedule. So let's go ahead and keep moving forward. All right. So the student athlete schedule. What's next? What's next? What's next? We talked about how having an effective schedule can enhance an athlete's performance. Right now, a disciplined schedule isn't about being, just busier. Right? It's about being more efficient with your energy and your focus. All right. That's what it. When you have that schedule, like I mentioned with the decision fatigue, your energy is not all over the place. Your focus isn't all over the place. All these things are being dealt with, right? All these things are being dealt with. All these things are being dealt with simply because you're managing your time well. You have a schedule and everything's running smoothly. All right. So let's see. Key stats. Listen to these key stats right here. So 70% of student athletes report feeling overwhelmed throughout the week. 70%, folks. 70%. All right. Now, athletes who manage 7 to 9 hours of sleep improve their reaction time by 25% compared to those who are sleep deprived. All right. So consistency in scheduling can reduce the academic stress. Listen to this. Take notes. Consistency in scheduling can reduce academic stress by over 40%, according to recent studies according to recent wellness studies. All right, folks, having a consistent, efficient schedule as a student, period, but as a student athlete, literally enhances your performance on the field. All right. So let's see. Tips of mastering student athletes. All right. Well, now, this is the portion of the live. I give you some tips. Now, I want to head back over to the crowd, see what's going in here. What's going on, Paul? What's going on, Riley? What's going on, E? What's going on? I said Half Pint Miami. Thanks, y'all, for stopping by. And again, what are we talking about here? We are discussing the student athlete schedule and how to master the student athlete schedule, right? All right. So let's continue to dive in right here. Let's continue to dive in. All right. Let me see. There we go. All right. So let's talk about that. Tips to master your student athlete schedule, right? So what do you need to do, right? You need to block your time by priority. Prioritize your time, right? Prioritize your time. Since we're talking about student athletes, want to put school first, and obviously your sports second. Then you have anything personal. That's going to be last. Now, one thing I want to put in here that I think can be easily overlooked is your belief system, right? Many of us feel that we have to believe in something, right? So whatever your belief system is, you can enter that into your schedule as well. I think that should be, in my humble opinion, it should be belief system, school, sports, personal. All right. That's my lay of the land for that. But that's just me, something for you to consider as well. All right. So, but either way, we have to block our time by priority. We have to prioritize our time. Right. Example might be, you have your schoolwork, right? You have the schoolwork. You do your schoolwork in the morning. You're going to school, right? In the afternoon, you practice, right? And then in the evening, it's recovery time and reflect time, right? So here's another thing. This could easily be number one. Learn to say no, right? Protect your time. We already know it's limited as a student athlete, correct? So protect your time. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to your goals. I'm going to say that again. Every yes to something that's unimportant is a no to your goals. So learn to say no. All right. Now, social events, those are the type of things we have to avoid. They don't serve us, right? Late night gaming doesn't serve us, or procrastinating, or or procrastination. All these things eat away at your schedule and at your goals. All right. At your schedule and at your goals. All right. So here's a habit, something you can consider right here. How we doing over here? What we got over here? We got people rolling in. We got Purcell in the building. We got Jaytana in the building. We got Hollywood Stevie in the building. That's a cool name. How did I say that? Cameron, and Paul's in the building. Thank you all for stopping by. All right, let's keep diving into this thing. We talked about stacking habits, right? Stacking habits. So pair existing habits, things you're already doing, right, with new productive habits. An example might be, during your pre-practice, before practice, right? You might do a little stretching. So I'm going to close it out and get off of this thing and head to get my training on myself. So before I go, just know mastering your schedule is the difference between being average and being elite. All right. Now, talent without time management doesn't last. Talent without time management doesn't last. But when you control your day, you control your performance, folks. You control your performance. So if you're ready to take your schedule and your game to the next level, DM me mindset. DM me mindset. I will show you exactly how to master your schedule and beyond through my integrated athletic enhancement program. All right. We don't want to survive as student athletes. We want to thrive. All right. So that's all I have for today. We had some people roll in.